Hello everyone and welcome back to Data Science on the Fly. In today's video, we will be discussing how to create a data frame in R. To get started, what is a data frame? A data frame is a data structure that holds data so that you can analyze it. We need this sort of structure in order to access and manipulate the data values relevant to our analysis. In a data frame, each column represents an attribute of the data, and each row represents a set of data points that comprise an observation. So, what's it used for? A data frame allows you to create what is essentially a table so you can conduct analysis in R. Say you're collecting academic data for students. For each student, you have a midterm score, a project grade, and a final exam score. These three pieces of information will be the three columns in the data frame. You can use this information to evaluate the hypothesis that a student's midterm score and project grade are positively related to their final exam score, i.e., higher scores on the first two attributes correlate with a higher final exam score. Here's what the data table would look like on paper: our midterm scores, our project scores, and our final exam score. So now that we know what it is and what it's used for, let's see how to create one. To create the data frame in R, you create vectors to hold the data grouped by the attribute. These data points have the same attribute as midterm scores, these have the same attribute as project grades, and these have the same attribute of final exam scores. Now that we have our vectors, we're ready to create the data frame. This data frame is going to be called grades df. A note: in R, you will often see an arrow where you're used to seeing an equal sign. The arrow and equal aren't exactly the same, but they are mostly the same. When you're making a data frame in R, you can use either an arrow or an equals. So now that we've created our data frame, let's take a closer look. Here we have our three vectors: midterm scores, project grades, and final exam scores. All of the data has been grouped by their attributes to be referenced later. All of the midterm scores are saved in the midterm scores vector, all of the project grades are stored in the project grades vector, and all of the final exam scores have been stored in the final exam scores vector. As we discussed earlier, we can utilize this data frame later on to conduct analysis in R. We can leverage this information to test our hypothesis that a student's midterm score and project grade are positively related to their final exam score. So to recap, we discussed what a data frame is, why someone may use it, discussed the steps you would take to create a data frame, and took a better look at a data frame that was created in R. Until next time.